Well, Erie County's $34 million broadband program has been slow to get off the ground, and officials are saying red tape is to blame.
And some lawmakers believe that providers needed to connect the homes don't want to use it. 2 on Your Side's Nate Benson is live for us tonight with the latest. Nate?
Yeah, good evening, Scott and Mary Alice. Building a broadband network is hard, and in the event of Erie Net, it turns out getting the proper permitting has been a challenge. It was a cold day in April when Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz celebrated the first few feet of fiber optic cable being installed for his Erie Net project, something he has been trying to make a reality since he announced it in 2019.
And why does this matter? Because it's not only offering high-speed broadband in areas where it never existed before, but even in areas that it existed, it is now offering competition.
Now it's a hot July day, and contractors are installing fiber optic cable along Boston-Colden Road, pole by pole. But progress for Erie Net has not been high speed. In fact, it's been more like dial-up. Less than 20 miles of fiber optic cable have been installed for Erie Net out of the 400 needed for the project.
There's been a lot of challenges along the way.
Ben Swanekamp is the chief of staff for the county executive, and Melissa Hartman is the executive director of Erie Net. They say the permitting process to access poles owned by companies like National Grid and NYSEG have been the biggest hurdle, and that permitting process requires
onerous paperwork and engineering applications for how your wires are going to attach to their pole. If there are issues with their pole, if the pole needs to be replaced, if another company put wires on there improperly, all that has to be fixed before you even get the right for your crew to go in and put your line on that pole.
But you also have to get permission from the state DOT to access the right-of-ways to then hang the fiber once you get permission from the utility.
We have to get a lot of permitting and access to these roadways and these right-of-ways that take time. And that's basically what our big holdup has been.
It's bureaucratic red tape like this that County Legislator Lindsay Larigo is saying should have been anticipated and managed.
We knew that it was going to be an issue to put up wire on the poles. You can't just go on other providers' poles and put up wire. We knew that this was going to be an issue about actually providing the service, and that's what we're seeing today. National Grid confirms that they've worked with Erie Net to streamline that permitting process to move things a little faster. And Hartman says that
we have a lot of that worked out. We have thousands of poles that are ready to be released or have been released.
Which is why you're seeing crews in Colden running fiber. But what happens when the fiber is hung and Erie Net lights up, so to speak? While the backbone network that the county is building will be used at various municipal buildings, it won't deliver high-speed internet to your home. A provider like Spectrum, Greenlight Networks, or other companies will connect what's called the last mile. Despite Erie Net being in the works for years, no last-mile provider partnerships have been publicly announced.
The providers themselves told us from the beginning they are not interested. They publicly said that. They said that they are not interested in hooking up to the system. We need them to hook up to provide that final mile, which is the thing that is actually missing and was the goal of this project.
There should be a substantial amount of internet service providers who will be able to compete with the Spectrums and the Verizons and be able to bring down the internet costs for the majority of Erie County, if not all, and that is our goal.
And you're confident once the 400 miles are complete and you can kind of light it up, so to speak, you think those third-party last-mile providers are going to be lining up to...
Yeah, we're already in talks.
Yeah, they already are.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, officials from Erie County tell me that about 75 miles of fiber optic cable should be installed by the end of August, with 3/4 of the Erie Net project completed by the end of the year. Live and on your side in downtown Buffalo, Nate Benson, Channel 2 News.
Nate, thanks.